Hey now folks, welcome to the Torch News Roundup number 37. And as we start off this week, I want to say congratulations to my boys, the New England Patriots, for winning Super Bowl 51 and becoming unequivocally, without a shadow of a doubt, the greatest team in NFL history. It's not even up for debate anymore. You have Bill Belichick, the greatest coach of all time, and Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback ever to play the game. Just look at these Super Bowl records he holds alone. 4 Super Bowl MVPs, 7 Super Bowl appearances, 5 wins by a starting Super Bowl quarterback, 15 career Super Bowl touchdowns, 43 completions in a Super Bowl, 466 pass yards in a Super Bowl, largest comeback in a Super Bowl prompting the first ever overtime game in Super Bowl history. Brady has more Super Bowl pass completions, 207, than Joe Montana, Terry Bradshaw, Brett Favre, and Bart Starr combined. It's just staggering. So congrats to the New England Patriots, and on to next season. I want to stick with sports if I may for a moment, as longtime ESPN broadcaster Chris Berman has stepped down as quote-unquote the face of football on ESPN. I fear Chris has been edged out of the job, which would be a real shame given all he's done for the network in his nearly 40 years tenure as broadcaster. His humorous yet passionate coverage of football not only fostered my love of football, but my interest in being a broadcaster myself. He's been an inspiration to me to do what I love, which is doing this show right here. So without the Swami, you might not have the Torch News Roundup. I'll miss seeing Boomer on the 2-minute drill, primetime football, and Monday Night Countdown. I wish it wasn't the end. Best wishes, Chris, and thanks for all the memories. Seth Rollins has been out of action with a torn MCL after being attacked at the hands of Samoa Joe. It was feared that this turn of events would keep Seth from his long-awaited showdown with Triple H at WrestleMania, but apparently the WWE is optimistic that Seth will be ready to go by WrestleMania 33, and that's still the plan. So, get well soon, Seth. Alright, we're going to switch gears now to our regular scheduled programming. So it looks like they'll be making room over at the CW for yet another superhero series, as Black Lightning jumps from Fox over to the CW. This is an interesting turn of events since I believe Fox already ordered a full season, but since this show is being run by the same writers as the DC CW shows, honestly, this is the only way to go. The show will likely have a better shot at survival if it can cross over with the other various shows in the Arrowverse. Benicio del Toro will appear in Avengers Infinity War as the Collector, according to Josh Brolin. I guess that's not too surprising with the Guardians of the Galaxy appearing in the film, but it could just wind up being only a cameo. Marvel also gave us our first glimpse of Infinity War, which just began shooting, in a brief video they've just released. Check it out. Neat, huh? I have to comment on the Super Bowl commercial for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I don't know who Gold Lady is in the beginning of the trailer, since I don't really follow the more cosmic Marvel comics. But yeah, this film looks better and better the more I see of it. And it doesn't seem like they're showing us too much either. I like that. I honestly don't need to see any more. I would say the film looks frickin' amazing, but I wouldn't use frickin'. And we're still on the merry-go-round regarding WB's upcoming The Batman starring Ben Affleck. Now the news has been flying fast and furiously over the past few days. Earlier in the week, a story broke claiming The Batman would be getting a major rewrite according to Forbes. They said as follows: the story for The Batman originally included the assassin Deathstroke as a main villain, with Joe Manganiello cast in the role, as well as a few other likely villainous appearances by characters including the Joker, according to sources familiar with the project. Jared Leto, who portrayed the Joker in Suicide Squad, has for months expressed his displeasure about the removal of substantial portions of his performance from the final cut of the film, raising questions about whether he would return to the role in future movies. He seems to have softened his stance lately and appears interested in a possible return, but whether he will ultimately be part of the Batman or Gotham City Sirens remains to be seen. Forbes says that they've heard that the film may undergo anything from major rewrites to a completely new script, including starting from scratch on the story if that's what it takes. Then, Variety's Justin Kroll recently tweeted that the new script was already finished this month, and Ben Affleck in the studio is supposedly very pleased with it. And now the news has broken that Matt Reeves is apparently going to be the new director of The Batman. As of now, I'm not sure it's official, but it seems all but a done deal at this point. Reeves has directed some of the recent Planet of the Apes films, but I'm not really familiar enough with him to weigh in on him as a choice. I don't know what else to tell you. This Batman movie has been a wild and woolly experience up to now. Tune in next week for the latest in this ongoing drama. And finally, some very sad news this week. Richard Hatch, who played Captain Apollo in the classic Battlestar Galactica series, has passed on at the age of 71 of pancreatic cancer. The original Battlestar Galactica lasted only one season in 1978, but left an indelible imprint on the TV landscape, especially in sci-fi effects brought to the small screen. Starring opposite Lauren Green as Apollo's father, Commander Adama, and Dirk Benedict's Starbuck, Hatch was the quintessential idealistic hero for an entire generation of fans. He would later appear on the reimagined version as a completely different character. The new version would go on to be very popular, but for me, there's nothing like the original Battlestar Galactica, the one true Battlestar Galactica. Forget about the new one, forget Galactica 1980. There was something special captured in the camaraderie of Hatch and Benedict that couldn't be captured elsewhere. Like most fans of classic Battlestar Galactica, Hatch didn't want the story to end with the series' sole season, and in the late 90s he created his own trailer, which he himself funded, to campaign Universal for a big-budget continuation of the series that he envisioned, titled The Second Coming. Several of the series' co-stars appeared, and the story would revolve around Apollo taking his father's place and preparing for a renewed war with the Cylons, as well as searching for the missing Starbuck. Unfortunately, Universal turned him down and went with the reimagined series. The hope of a continuation of the original series did continue, with Bryan Singer pitching his own next-generation Battlestar Galactica TV series, which would reunite most of the original cast. That too, however, came to nothing. And now with Hatch's passing, it seems that we've sadly lost any hope of having a classic Battlestar Galactica continuation film or series. But we have much to thank and remember Richard Hatch for, both for his terrific performance as Captain Apollo and for championing classic Battlestar Galactica when no one else would. Rest in peace, Richard. Alright, we need to wrap it up here and now for this week's Torch News Roundup. If you have any questions or comments you'd like me to address, please feel free to leave them in the comments or on my Twitter page. You can find my link in the description below. This is once again your humble host, Johnny Torch, reminding you, fleeing the Cylon tyranny, the last Battlestar, Galactica, leads a ragtag fugitive fleet on a lonely quest. A shining planet known as Earth.